What's going on, everybody? I'm sure you guys have heard already. If you haven't, I'm making this video because Derrick Rose apparently is away from the Cavs, and he's evaluating his future in the game of basketball. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, or you know who I am, or you follow me on social media, or any of it, you probably already know that Derrick Rose is my favorite player of all time. I modeled my game after him. He was my role model, and it's sad to see that he's fallen this far and he's this down in the dumps to where he's evaluating his future in the game of basketball. It's quite sad to see where he was and how far he's fallen. It's really depressing to see. I mean, there's nothing I can really say that would give any kind of insight, or what anybody could say to give any kind of insight on what's going on with him, because only he knows what's going on with him and how he feels. But I made this video strictly pretty much just to say, I mean, if I could ever get a video to show an athlete or anybody, it'd be this one. I just want to make sure if he somehow, any kind of way, he would ever see this video. Just wanted to say, don't give up, D-Rose. Just don't give up. I know you've been through a lot the past few years with your injuries, and I think what hurts even more is the fact that Chicago pretty much gave up on him. And he went out there and averaged 18 a game last year, 47% shooting, and then gets rewarded with a $2.11 million deal to go be a backup somewhere. The media hates him. There's nothing he could do to ever change their mind about anything. And his reputation is taking a hit. I'm sure to him it feels like no one likes him anymore. I know that kind of seems soft. Not likes him anymore, but appreciates him anymore, or even cares for him anymore amongst the NBA atmosphere. And that's just simply not true. I mean, for as much media that hates you, there's probably twice as much fans that love you. For every person that says you can't play, there's probably twice as many that say you can play. For everyone that says that your last year with the Knicks was overhyped, or even you're playing bad this year with the Cavs, or anything, there's just as many people that come back at them and refute and defend you. So I know it feels like, possibly to you, that there's just all kinds of hate out there and you're not respected and you're just doing this for no cause, because no matter what you do, you'll never get credit for anything. Why keep fighting through these injuries? There are people out there that respect and appreciate what you're doing. Now, I'm going to speak for myself personally. I loved your game. I modeled my game after yours. I try to play just like you. All my moves, I try to copy your moves. But what made you even more important to me and like a role model to me is the fact you not only went through one knee injury, but multiple knee injuries. You went through a broken bone in your face. You went through multiple injuries, but you never let that tear you down. You always came back. And for a kid like me growing up, I didn't care that you couldn't go out there and maybe dunk on everybody like you used to. You kept fighting back, and you showed that you didn't want to give up, and you loved the game of basketball. And I love the game of basketball, and to see that other people love it so much to where they won't let anything bring them back down, and even if they're not going to get back to that prime self, you keep playing and keep fighting through it. That's the kind of example you set for me to never give up on anything. I'm sure I'm not the only fan out there who feels like you've had that kind of big impact on someone's life just by coming back from these injuries. So you can't give up now, D-Rose, because if you give up now, you're just going to give the media another thing to talk about you after you're done. Because they can talk about all your injuries. They can talk about how, oh, you're not the same MVP. They could talk about all those things. But if there's one thing that they could never, ever say against you, anybody could ever say against you, is the fact that you gave up and you didn't give it your all. Because you went through injury after injury, and you've never let anything stop you. You keep fighting back. You fought back from every injury. You've played through injuries. You've had way tougher obstacles ahead of you, and you've never gave up. If there's one thing that you can hold on to your career, and one thing that you can hold on and say that you've done throughout your whole career, no matter my talent level, no matter how many injuries, no matter how far I've fallen in the reputation of the media, I've never given up, and I fought through everything. And that right there will be stripped away from you if you were to go away right now, because all they're going to talk about is you giving up and going out of the game way too early. And D-Rose, if you do come back from this injury, no matter what media says about you, no matter what anybody says about you, you're inspiring so many kids out there, so many teenagers, so many just fans of your game and just fans of you. You're inspiring so many people not to give up on the game of basketball and just to just life in general. You've never given up, and you've inspired everybody that likes you and watched your game and just followed you throughout your career to never give up on anything you're doing, no matter what you're hit with. So that's something that I believe that you should hold on to and keep going forward, and don't let anybody strip this away from you. And just to clear this up before I end this video, it's not going to be the sprained ankle that takes D-Rose out the game if he stops right here. It's going to be because he's mentally drained from everything he has to go through. The media hating him, everybody hating him, no matter what he does. Even if he were to come back from this ankle injury, would it even matter to anybody? He's hurt all the time. He can't, even if it's a small nagging injury, you have to assume that that gets on someone and that just drains somebody who's been through major surgeries over and over and over again, and comes back and now has to deal with the little tiny nagging ones all the time. That's what's going to take D-Rose out the game, and I hope that he can find it somewhere in him to push through this again. I'm sure he's drained. I'm sure he feels like this is just over. I can't do it. Maybe he's just taking time off and people are over-exaggerating it, which I hope. I don't want him to stop, but D-Rose, I hope that you can find what it is in you to keep going. You can do it, and your fans are behind you, and we're backing you and praying for you, man. That's all I have for you guys today. If you guys are fans of D-Rose, or anybody watching this video is praying for D-Rose or doesn't want him to give up, I recommend that all of us, even though he stays away from social media, possibly this could get to him. Maybe if we could just hashtag on Twitter or hashtag everywhere, "Don't give up Rose." Get that spreading and get everybody tweeting it. Maybe he can see it and see that he still has a backing out there, and that will motivate him to keep going and knows that he still has people behind him. Once again, that's all I have for you guys today. I'll see you guys in my next video. Don't give up, Rose. I'm praying for you, bro.